Wondering tonight whether it would be a repeat performance of the dip.
Last thing thousands in our region needed tonight is the second round of severe storms we've seen blow in.
Yeah, 2 dead. The search for the missing in Johnson County, Kentucky after deadly flooding 24 hours ago. You can only imagine the panic of seeing the skies open this evening and the rains pouring down as people, including rescue crews, scrambled for cover. They were wondering tonight whether it would be a repeat performance of the deadly consequences of the night before.
And it's not just eastern Kentucky. Take a look at the Kanawha Valley, also hit pretty hard by a fast and furious moving storm system. Our cameras catch flying debris so large it is actually the roof off of a local business there. The wind so strong it flew the roof past 6 lanes of the Interstate 64 before slamming to the ground. The scope of this destruction really is hard to grasp.
In our 3 states, there are hundreds of homes damaged, destroyed, or homes that have literally just disappeared off the map.
Oh my God, it's going to hit our house too. Okay. Oh, they can't get out. Oh, you know they're scared to death. Oh my God. Oh, Lord Jesus.
So here's proof of that video captured by neighbors watching part of the neighborhood just float away.
Yeah, watching it is tough. Listening, even tougher, as people frantic as they're rushing water, taking with it anything in its path. Our media affiliate reporting that 22-year-old man Richard Blair was inside that home. Family members say Blair suffers from cerebral palsy and is confined to a wheelchair. Family members who made it out of the house say they have not been able to find him, but they are praying tonight that he is still alive.
And it would be great news tonight if 24 hours later we could report the missing have been accounted for.
It's not the case. We've got team coverage tonight. Amanda Barron's been our eyes and ears down in Johnson County all day, and she joins us now live with the latest. Amanda?
Hey guys, in addition to the young man you were just talking about, we know there are still 5 other people missing, at least 5 other people, because the number has been changing throughout the day because communication was wiped out in this stretch, Staffordsville, Red Bush and Flat Gap, where all of this damage happened. Now, we can tell you that 2 people died, Herbert Eddie May and Wilma Mae Pennington. Those families go to bed tonight with a bit of closure when it comes to those folks. They know their fate. Unfortunately for those other families, it is not the case, and we just learned moments ago that investigators are going to call off that search for tonight. With the rain that we had this evening, the fog is starting to set in. Between that, the amount of debris that's out there, and these conditions, it's just too much right now. So they'll get going again tomorrow about 9:30 or 10. I want to give you a scope of some of this devastation from a bird's eye view. We were able to obtain this video today of all of this damage, and it is just incredible to see with your own eyes. 500 homes are affected by all of this flash flooding. We can tell you that at least 60 of those homes destroyed, knocked off their foundations. In all, 1,200 people are affected by this fast and furious rain that came in. We were spared a bit tonight. That's because the rain that did hit quickly. Lots of thunder, lots of lightning. We saw a little bit of flooding on the roads here, but fortunately didn't cause any other problems other than creating some conditions that make it tough for the first responders to continue their recovery efforts tonight. They've been out since 4 o'clock yesterday when this storm hit, and they tell us that they will keep searching for as long as they need to. The job is major, though. You have to imagine, with homes being moved like they're nothing and cars just being tossed aside. The work is heavy, the work is hard. They've had heavy equipment in here all day long helping to move things along. Want to bring in News Channel 3's Rebecca Pewitt, who has been following the search and recovery effort today. And Rebecca, you were able to speak with some families who are hoping for the best, but preparing themselves for the worst, because a lot of these people were together. The people who are still missing, their families, they were together.
That's right. They were together when this rain came through, and you know what? They've been together through the entire search and rescue efforts. They have been with crews searching all day long, and you know, these crews say that though this search has been so challenging, just as Amanda was mentioning, just because of the sheer amount of rubble that is now in this area. They say those 6 people still unaccounted for, but they are not tying themselves down to that number simply because they are just looking for anyone stranded by this debris. You know, we are not just talking limbs and trees here. We are talking entire homes, roofs, barns. Anything that was swept away is now left in that creek. Now, they are using excavators to search and dig through all that rubble to search for people. But as time goes on, these families say they're just losing hope that their loved ones are still okay. Now, with the help of cadaver dogs, they did recover 2 bodies today. You just heard those names mentioned. And I talked to the step-granddaughter of that victim, Willa Mae Pittington, and she said that, not only has she lost her grandmother, but now she is still without her stepbrother. Take a listen.
And I came off the porch and I went underwater, and he grabbed me and pulled me back up. He saved me. And when I looked back, my step-grandmother, Willa Mae, and my nephew, Logan, was in the trailer, and as I looked back, the trailer started to turn. And he went back in to get them. Logan's safe, he's home and safe, but Willa Mae hasn't made it, and they ain't found Scott.
Now, his name was Scott Johnson, and he actually works at this gas station just across the street from where we are right now. And all day long, the people that work there, the family members I talked to, have just called him a hero, saying that, he tried to save that family member, and they have just been searching for him all day. But of course, Amanda, as you mentioned, he is just one of those several people that are still accounted for tonight.
And unfortunately, as time moves on tonight, I think the hope is growing grim for so many. Rebecca, thanks so much. And I can tell you a little more about Scott. He's worked at that gas station over there for about a year, and I happened to be there today as his mother was in the store talking to his co-workers, 3 clerks, about the fact that they were still looking for him. His co-workers understandably devastated tonight. There is help pouring in, as you might imagine, because that's what we see in our region. When disaster strikes, people step in. Strangers, there are no such thing as strangers when disaster happens. And Andrew Colgrove joins me now. Andrew, we were actually standing here right along Route 172 tonight. A bus from a church rolled on up. We had you hop on that bus and go down, and they were ready to help these people out.
They absolutely were. You're right. Right after 6:30, when our 6 o'clock news ran off, we saw the bus coming up here, and they allowed me to hop on and tag along with them. They went out toward Flat Gap, which is about 10 miles from here. They stopped anywhere where they saw any signs of activity, where folks were out cleaning up. They would stop and get off the bus and offer them free meals, blankets, toiletries. This scene would play out over and over again. And some of the folks who are a member of this church, it's the First United Methodist Church out of Paintsville, some of them are related to folks who live out here who lost their entire homes, whose homes were swept away in this high water, and some of those church members were getting their first-hand look at this devastation. Very moving for them to see what happened here. They say, obviously, it's their natural instinct to jump in and try to help when they heard about this happening. Now, a few years ago, that same group went out to Salyersville and West Liberty when they had all that tornado damage there. They've done this before. Amanda, they say they wanted me to ask to make sure to point out that they will be back here again tomorrow night doing the exact same thing. Full
of so much energy tonight, but really tough for them too, and understandably so, because their family lives here, and it doesn't matter if they're family or not. It seems this is a community, as we know, everybody knows everybody.
They're all connected here, absolutely.
Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody.
They do.
All right, Andrew, thanks so much. No doubt about it, I'm sure many of you at home are hoping that you can figure out a way to step in and help out, and they are making that possible for you. At Johnson Central High School, you can drop things off from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Thursday, and they'll make sure that those items get distributed to the folks who need them most. Now, we can tell you they are not asking for clothes at this point, but what they do need, supplies for babies, diapers, wipes. They need bottles of water, non-perishable foods. They need cleaning supplies. They also need first aid kits. Of course, there's a lot of high water here, and that can also pose some health risks. So those cleaning supplies and the first aid kits are really going to be key for folks as we move into the cleanup phase of all of this, and it is no doubt going to be a daunting task. So many of those people tonight who are facing a major cleanup have headed for higher ground because there's no power here as well, so they're facing so many challenges. Tonight they are at a shelter in Paintsville. That's where we find News Channel 3's Matt Heckel.
Yeah, well, I'm in the Paintsville Rec Center here where the American Red Cross has set up a shelter. They said they have about 18 families signed up to stay here tonight. However, they also tell me there is room for more. Now, obviously, a lot of folks were displaced from their homes after those storms swept through the area last night. Here at the rec center, they have about 50 to 75 cots set up. They're also providing folks with warm meals, showers. Now, we've also seen a lot of volunteers working here throughout the day. Now, if you'd like to donate any items, you can come by to the center here on Preston Street. If you donate clothes, you're asked to drop them off at the First Christian Church on Main Street. Now, we talked to one woman who is staying here tonight, Edna Daniels. Last night, she says the rain moved in so fast near her home in Red Bush. Water poured into her yard and under her home. Now, because of the debris in the roadway, she was not able to get out of her home last night. Today, though, she came here. She is staying here tonight. But despite everything she's going through, her first thought was with the rest of her community.
How many people did we lose? Because there was a good friend of mine they couldn't find. They found him on top of a housetop down the river.
Now, I want to mention that man is not been hurt. Edna says he is okay. Now, coming up tonight at 11, we're going to tell you why Edna says she is so afraid that her home will not be able to withstand any more storms that roll through the area. Again, that's coming up tonight at 11. Until then, I'm Matt Heckel, News Channel 3, Paintsville, Kentucky.
All right, Matt, thank you. We will continue to follow the rescue efforts in Johnson County throughout our newscast and during WSAZ tonight at 11 o'clock. We will also have live TV coverage of the severe damage, the search, the cleanup on WSAZ Sunrise and WSAZ Today. That starts at 4:30 in the morning, and it will continue throughout the morning.
Also, remember, you can always find the latest information on WSAZ Mobile and WSAZ.com. And don't forget, you can sign up for text alerts so you'll know the latest updates as soon as we do.
It's remarkable.